right? Purging and purifying and burning up everything that is not a right representation and not a right reflection of him, right? He doesn't want a replica. He wants exact representation. He wants the reflection of his son, right? He doesn't, a replica is my best effort to give God what he wants. A replica is my flesh doing everything that I can to give the Lord my best and what he wants and what he desires in my own self-will and my own self-strength, when he's over here like, no, just stay in the furnace, and when I see my reflection, I'll pull you out. Right? And for me, as difficult as the furnace can be, I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard, right? I mean, and especially right now, it feels like it's nonstop and it's one thing after another, right? I'm supposed to speak this morning. I didn't sleep hardly at all last night. And, I'm like, Lord, I don't want to be moved out of my emotions. I want to be moved out of the Spirit of the Lord, right? And I want to start to view these difficulties differently, right? But not, one thing I do want to say, because I don't want this to be misunderstood, not going to get things checked out. I'm not saying that. I know there's been a lot of different things going on with different people, like my son, right? He had pulmonary hypertension, right? Like, I'm not saying you don't go get that looked at, right? But in the midst of that process, we're trusting the Lord, right? The Lord's gaining ground in us, right? Faith is being built within us, that no matter the outcome, he is good, right? We're not self-inflicting pain on ourselves, right? We're not suffering just to suffer, but when we're suffering, our heart posture is not one of complaint, but of desire of the Lord. And one thing I've realized is when it's the hottest, or when the suffering is the most pressing on all sides, the nearness of the Lord has been so close. And to me, I am grateful for that. And it gives me confidence in knowing when more difficulty comes and as the end draws near, and when everything is being shook, that there can be something within me that is unshakable, right? There can be a rock in a kingdom established within that will not be shook. And we can stand together united as one in the Lord and in the covenant of his life, and as a bride beckoning for the bridegroom's return, right? That's my heart this morning. My heart for all of us, honestly, is to start viewing the difficulties differently, using wisdom, also asking the Lord, right? Ask him, what am I to do? What am I to do? Am I to go in and get this looked at? Is this something, because I fully believe the Lord has struck my father-in-law with sciatic before, right? But the Lord was very clear, right? When he spoke, that pain went away. When he was teaching, right? When he wasn't, it came back. But the Lord was clear that this was unto something, right? So some of the things we're going through, I would encourage you to get clarity on, right? Don't just think, well, this is really painful. I'm going to get this full reward if I don't go get something looked at, right? That's not what the Lord is after. The Lord is after our heart response in the midst of difficulty, right? That's my heart, because I know we can get in ditches. I've seen it in my own life, is why I'm saying it. And it can be so anti this because I don't want to miss this, right? So anti going to get something looked at because I don't want to miss a test, right? When you could not do that and miss it, if that makes sense. Does that make sense or no? Okay. Just because I love you guys and I don't want anyone going before their time. And also because the Lord is faithful to reveal, right? There's been so many times I didn't say anything, and I'm like, what am I to do? What am I to do? And he's like, why don't you ask? Right? And then it's like, oh, yeah. So then you ask, and he's faithful to give you an answer, right? He's not just up there like, ha, 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 you're suffering, good luck, right? I mean, if that's how we're viewing the Lord, we have a really skewed, sick view of the Lord. Right? Right, okay. Because that's just not how he operates. He loves us enough, right? He loves us enough. He wants us to succeed in him, right? Not in our flesh, but he wants us to succeed in him and to have his life within us in a greater way. So I'll leave you with that.